After spiritual preparedness, knowledge is the most important prep. Hey guys, I just wanted to start this video out with a quote from Octavia E. Butler from the Parable of the Talents. It goes like this: choose your leaders with wisdom and forethought. To be led by a coward is to be controlled by all that coward fears. To be led by a fool is to be led by the opportunists who control that fool. To be led by a thief is to offer up your most precious treasures to be stolen. To be led by a liar is to ask to be told lies. To be led by a tyrant is to sell yourself and your loved ones into slavery. So, where am I going with this video? I know I haven't been putting out many videos. I try to do my best, I always have one video on the back burner. But this video, I'm just gonna kind of wing it because it's been kind of on my mind about knowledge and information and who's controlling the information. At the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you who the modern day librarians are and who controls the information. So it's kind of cold out. We're supposed to get a foot of snow today. I remember when I was a young adult, I should say, and I read a book called The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. Each planet had its role in keeping the Earth sustained. So one planet would be a planet for iron, one planet would be a planet for water, and all this stuff would be shipped into the Earth to sustain the millions of people. This Earth was built layer upon layer like an onion of just mechanisms and society overpopulation, and it essentially was a ginormous ball of metal and technology and energy, and all man-made. Further on in the story, the Earth was going to suffer a devastating catastrophe, right? So the wise men of the galaxies basically got together and said, look, all of humanity is going to be virtually wiped off this planet, wiped out of the galaxy, wiped out of the solar system. There's going to be very few living, right? But those few living need the number one thing that they thought about for prolonging survival and life in space was the knowledge of all human accumulated knowledge. All the knowledge from the prehistoric, from the very beginning to 10,000 years into the future, was to be preserved, and they brought all this information to this planet. And this just brings me to thinking about our preps and what is important to us. So besides spiritual preparedness, which is in my opinion the most important prep that a man or a woman can prepare for end times with, the second one would be knowledge. Not only did the wise men in the Foundation understand the importance of knowledge, they knew that knowledge was the first thing to go when society collapsed. It was the first thing to be controlled, should be the first thing we prep for. Powerful organizations typically are the ones that control all information, and this has been so in the past and is so in the present. And as preppers, we need to attain knowledge. Typically, the first knowledge to go is wisdom. Wisdom is that knowledge of God, of the ethereal. It is going down to our basic spiritual needs, and in survival situations, wisdom is necessary. The fear of God is necessary. So essentially, when you take God out of the picture, it is easier to control a people, right? You take away their basic belief system, and that's it. They're wide open for anything that's taught to them or told. The Greeks knew this. They burnt archives. The Nazis knew this. Chinese know this. As you can tell, the Chinese are limited to their own internet, completely enclosed with no outside internet whatsoever. And having doing so, removing any form of wisdom out of the archives, you essentially open the portal for easily enslaving the people. Children begin to be indoctrinated into obscure, abstract ideas that have very questionable morals and ethical ideas behind them. You control the children and you essentially control the next generation growing up. You control the medical books that are given to medical students in school, and they soon realize or forget about natural remedies and natural immunities, everything taught to them in the manner in which benefits the powerful. We need to begin to prepare our own library of knowledge, whether it be obtained up here in memory or in hardback book form, and memorize it and use this to your benefit for when a collapse does occur, when all the books begin to be burned again. Books have been burning because our modern day library is the internet. This internet now is an invisible library. It's over electronic wavelengths and frequencies. It's not tangible anymore. So all this knowledge now can be, these books now, this information now can be burned essentially through suppression. You don't see the books, you don't see the pyre going up into the sky of all this information being suppressed. It is not visible. There is knowledge upon knowledge that has been suppressed, essentially being burned for you not to acquire. The only information that you're going to have is essentially what the powerful want you to have. This is what blows my mind about the human thinking. When you look at men gathering together at a football game or watching football on TV, and the narrator on the screen is talking about so-and-so's stats and this guy's doing this and this, and then you go back to work the next day and you just hear these people repeating the same stuff as if they're all scholars on football, but they're essentially just regurgitating what those people on TV had told them. So now this thought process is part of them. This is essentially what's going on with the internet. We are being regurgitated certain information. Even when you search for it yourself with keywords on the internet, you are being selectively given information. This information is being selected for you. We are not being critical thinkers in this time, just a remnant of a past generation. Our knowledge has been given to us selectively by the powerful, and the new modern librarians are, you guessed it, the social media giants from Silicon Valley. They essentially control how you dress, what you eat, what you talk about at work, what you don't talk about, what is considered taboo to talk about. Religion is no longer something acceptable to be talking about. The powerful will go door to door putting up a wanted poster for any of your Bibles, for any of your wisdom books, because those in the end times are going to become extinct. So do your research. Who are the librarians of this modern world? The information you're given, is it something you critically came up with? Is it ideas that you thought long and hard over? Or is it something spoon-fed to you? This is all I have to say, guys. The world is in a very critical stage. One of your strengths right now could be improved, and that is your seeking of knowledge before it is all removed. So gather your books, gather your knowledge, take it all in, for it might not always be here. Until then, guys, we'll see you.